Hello. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Lisa again. We're going to be talking about grief again. This channel that I'm developing or just developed as of yesterday is going to be a channel where this channel is about love, light, and healing. Love, light, and healing. And that's what this channel is about. And today we're going to be discussing part two from yesterday about grief. So I started, if for those who are listening now, please go back and watch part one because watching part one will get you to understand where we are now. Um, so we're going to talk about grief today. Um, what I didn't say yesterday, and I'm making some notes here, I've already made some notes so I don't forget to share something. One of the things about losing my mother during a shutdown that I didn't mention yesterday that I'm going to mention here today is one of the things that helped get me through this was prayer, praying. And let me talk about that for a minute because when my mother passed away during a shutdown and I could not go to a funeral, or I should say, we, the family, could not have a funeral. We had to have a memorial service after she was buried because of the shutdown. I was extremely angry because the last conversation with my mother was the last conversation. And it was just heart wrenching because she was trying to catch her breath and tell me some things. And I was on with her for a while. And it just broke my heart. And when she passed away, and I'm sharing today, I don't share a lot, but I am here today sharing because a few people need to hear this because there are a few people out there who are going through the grief right now. They have lost loved ones right now and they are devastated. They are lost. And then if you've never experienced grief, it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks. And when it hit you, you don't have any control over it. It just hits you wherever you are. You can be at work, you can be in a store, you could be at church, you could be at a gathering, an event, etc. It will hit you like a ton of bricks. And in the beginning, I had no control over it. I didn't know how to control it. I didn't know how to deal it. When I lost my father, I mean, it was really hard, but not like when I lost my mother because I did have a relationship with her. And one of the things with my mom is that when I was experiencing some difficulties or didn't know how to handle situations, she would tell me whether I wanted to hear it or not, because I guess that's what mothers are for. But the difference is that the things that she told me that I didn't really listen to or I dismissed, I am doing those things now, and she's right. She's right about all the advice, everything that she told me. And losing her was very difficult. And what I'm trying to tell everyone here, that do not shut down, do not put yourself in a space where you don't want to talk about things because it's going to make it worse. I understand that you need that time alone so that you can process this, and I understand that. Now, getting back to what I was saying about God. Now, I was angry, very angry. And let me tell you, um, when this happened, after I found out that she was gone, I ended up, my downstairs neighbor at the time at the place where I was living had to take me to the hospital. And because that's how sick I got behind this. And then after I came home, because she watched my dog at that time was still here. I although this is difficult to talk about it, talk about, somebody needs to hear this. And when I came home, and then I realized the realization that I could not pick up the phone anymore and actually talk to my mother anymore. I was angry, like, first of all, we're in a shutdown. We can't come and go as we normally do. At that time, we were really heavy into the shutdown where we could only go to the store to shop and back home. And then the news was depressing, sitting there watching people drop dead like flies. And then this situation. So I'm already enclosed, because we could not do much. So I'm walking through the house daily, night, talking to God. And I'm not praying, well, people may pray, I do things a little different because I talk to God like I would my natural father. And I think that's, the way to go. So I was angry and I was going back and forth. Why did you let my mother die? What is this about? And then not only did my mother die, I lost a friend, and people around me was dying. And it was just people I knew, people who I knew a long time. And I'm like, this is not okay. And a lot of things for a long time. And I did that for months, walking back, screaming at God, saying a lot of things. And God want to hear from us. Trust me. I don't care if you're angry, you're happy, you're depressed, whatever. Just talk to him. And I don't mean rehearse prayers that you read from a book, etc. Tell him how you feel, because that's where I was. And I was really angry. And it helped getting that out. And then also at the time, I believe shortly after that, the gym opened and I was hitting the gym every day, punching stuff. It was just the anger from it. And it was really, really hard. So someone out there is going through this right now as I make this video, and they need to hear this. They need to know how to deal with this, you know, having um, the process of, how do I say this? Just the anger, because it's not just one emotion. It's a whole lot of different emotions you start to feel. First, the sadness, the tears, then the depression, the anger, and it hits you when you least expect it. And that was going on for a while until just recently I was able to get control of it. And it's not easy, because what I had to say to myself, for those who are listening, and my youngest sister said this to me too. Mom would not want me to be like this, to sit and just be isolated, crying, and just, feeling depressed and broken down. She would not want that. Mom would want me to go on with my life. And because of those words, and because of, having these conversations a lot with my youngest sister, help as well. And not only that, grief counseling, everyone. And at first it felt weird to me, because in my family growing up, whatever happens in this house stays in this house. Anything about counseling is looked upon in a weird way. But I had to do this for me because I felt like I was falling apart. And believe me, I know the feeling, because it was overwhelming. And then, during a shutdown. So I started the therapy process, and it took a while to get used to it and to share what I was truly feeling. And I started to do that. I started to do that. And it helped a lot. Just talking it out, addressing what I was feeling, dealing with it instead of ignoring it. One of the difficult things for me was that I was the type of person, before this experience happened, I just let people, like, if I hated confrontation, arguments, etc. So anyone who was in my life, like, whether it's a friend, a partner, family, whatever, if something that I didn't like, etc., I would, if I would express that and I felt it was going to cause an argument or a situation, a negative situation, I would just give that person their way, just. And then after my mom passed away, my thinking, everything was cloudy for a while. And I just let anything happen because I wasn't processing it. I was numb. Because for a little while, you're going to be numb. Like I said, you have all these different emotions. So what I did with the therapy is I was taught about self-love. It's important to have self-love for yourself, and remember the good times and the things that brought my mother joy as well as myself. And slowly I started to get better. And now with people, because there were people in my path, I would say acquaintances that I thought was friends at the time. And these people were just, the things, the horrific things that were being said. Like, for example, oh, you should get over it already. It's been a while. No one should say that to someone who lost a loved one. How dare you think that's okay? It's not. If you don't know what to say, just say, I'm sorry to hear about your loss. And, if you need someone to talk to, I'm here just to listen. Something of that nature instead of something that's going to make a person feel worse. One of my friends who we worked together at the soup kitchen because I used to volunteer. And we became friends. And she was, I used to talk to her twice a week on the phone and making plans, etc. And I found out she passed away. And I believe she had a heart attack or something like that. And I was devastated by it. That I had a chance to go to her funeral. And I had someone said to me, well, she died happy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is not something that you should be saying to someone who just lost someone, whether it's a friend, family, relative, spouse, etc. No, that's not okay. And after that, I started to talk to my therapist about these things and how it made me feel. And, he was the one who helped me say, what you're feeling, but in a respectful manner. And after, months, 2 years of therapy to be exact. And I just don't tolerate a lot anymore from people. What I mean by that is set boundaries, especially in your grieving process. It's okay if people don't understand what you're going through, but it's not okay for them to say something negative or something that's going to make you feel a lot worse. Set boundaries. What I also do now, set boundaries. It doesn't matter whether people like the boundaries or not. They have to respect them or I just cut them off. That's it. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to fight and act crazy. I'm just going to express in a respectful manner once or twice what these boundaries are. And if they cannot respect that, then see you later. Goodbye. That's it. And I didn't used to be that way. I used to just say, okay, just to keep people in my life. No, you can't do that. Well, at least it's not a good thing to do because a person will not never respect boundaries. So I had to learn to do that. It wasn't easy because I had to do that over and over and over again with different people. But I'm glad I did because what my mother said to me before she passed away is that peace is better. And she would even address that I was allowing people to take advantage of me. And I would say, Ma, I just want to keep the peace. And no, this is not okay. They're taking advantage, blah, blah, etc. And I get it now. I really do. So what healing, the healing process is important, and it's important to find things that you like that makes you feel good. Like if you, for me, for example, I love old movies. I used to collect them, and I like to watch that in comedy shows. Things that are going to uplift and make me feel better, and not something that's going to make me, fall to my knees and cry. And just talk. Find people that will really just listen. They don't have to respond, just support you in this process. It's important to have as much support as possible. Finding a grief, not just a grief counselor, but a support group where people who have gone through the same situations or similar situations to yourself can share experiences, what it made them feel like, and what they're doing to heal. Because there's going to be a healing process. Believe me, you'll never get over it, but you will learn one day how to deal with it and how to cope. That is important. And then having peace, having positive people around you, people who are going to uplift you, not those who are going to just make you feel worse. That is so important. One of the things I also want to say here is in reference to my mom, my sister, my youngest sister, and I was talking, and it's time to go visit mom's grave. And mom is buried in North Carolina. It's not that I can't get there. I'm concerned about how I'm going to react while I'm there, because that is like the total confirmation that she's gone. I already know that she's gone, but just the nail, well, I don't want to say nail in the coffin, but just to say the realization of it right there in front of me. And I don't know how I'm going to react, but I have to do it. And one of the things I draw comfort from is that I have dreams about her. She comes to me in my dreams, and it's time for me to move on with my life. But like I said, everyone grieve in their own way. It takes time, and it's not easy. So a support group and being around people is important. Keep doing what you need to heal. And no one should tell you that you should be over it. Healing process takes time. Everybody heal at their own pace. So someone needs to hear this message, and someone needs to be uplifted instead of staying in a place of depression. Please get to a support group. If you're not familiar with any, it's important to Google bing.com, bing.com, and Google the support groups that are in your area and call and talk. It's don't have any shame into doing this, because it is for your uh, mental health, and it's to help you so that you can start the healing process. That's so important, people. It really is. So I just want to talk about that, because a lot of people don't understand what you're going through. I'm going to say this, because I don't want to make this too long, is that prayer. Once I got through the anger, the hurt, and all of that, and I prayed, and God started to bless my life after that, really, especially after I lost my dog. Because I said, going through all of this, I didn't want to turn bitter. I did not want that, because I have some people that I used to be around who went through some similar things and they're just bitter. I didn't want that, because it is for me to shine my light and to help other people. That is so important, because so many people are going through situations and no one knows about it. This is why we hear about these suicides and these other things, because people are personally going through things and we don't know their story because they're not sharing. And it's important to address the elephant in the room and not walk around it and pretend it's not there. And I know what that feels like, because I grew up like that. But it's important. Therapy works. Do the healing, get into a support group, and it helps. And talk about it. Talk about those loved ones. What made you happy about some of the things you did. Talk about what you did together and what they brought to your life. Please, please, because a few people need to hear this message. And please do me a favor and share this video with those who do need to hear the message that may not know about this. I will be posting every week, and I will make a notification that I'm posting so everyone can come on. And please subscribe to this channel. This is going to be a channel of love, light, and to help others to heal. And I'm talking from experience. Thank you for being here today and listening. And everyone, happy Friday and have a great weekend. I will be back next week with another message. Have a great weekend again. Thank you for listening.